Hello all, I am Rajesh once again with my YouTube channel Rajenomics. This is my 11th lecture and I am going to discuss today what is demand pull inflation and cost push inflation. As we are all aware, what is inflation? Inflation is persistent rise in prices or fall in purchasing power of the money. Fall in purchasing power of money. What do I mean by that? Suppose with 100 rupees I was able to purchase 5 units of some commodity. But today I am able to purchase only 3 units of the same commodity with the same 100 rupees. So that means there is fall in purchasing power of money, or in other words it means my real income has eroded because of rise in price. So inflation can be described as persistent rise in prices or fall in purchasing power of money or erosion of real income. But what is demand pull and cost push inflation? Now, demand pull inflation refers to rise in inflation caused by rise in aggregate demand. What do I mean by aggregate demand? Consumers may demand more goods and services. Then businesses invest. As a result, they also demand more goods and services, say plant and machinery, tools and equipment. Government also makes expenditure on infrastructure. As a result, demand for goods and services may rise from the side of the government also. So this is the rise in aggregate demand for goods and services from the consumers, from the businesses, from the government. So when aggregate demand rises and the supply doesn't match the rise in demand, or in other words, there is demand supply mismatch, then inflation happens because too much of demand is chasing too few goods. So there is a demand supply mismatch. So there is rise in prices due to rise in aggregate demand, and hence we say demand pull inflation, and inflation which is caused by demand side factors, and inflation which is caused by demand side factors. However, sometimes it may so happen aggregate demand may not rise, but still inflation might go up. There might be rise in prices. This may happen due to cost push factors. What do I mean by cost push factors? Say certain input cost rises like raw materials. Labor may demand higher wages. Now when labor demands higher wages, suppose management concede it, then the input cost for the producer goes up and he adds it to the value of the final product, and that is how the price of that product may rise due to rise in prices of input such as labor cost, raw material. But now the question that needs to be asked is every inflation either due to demand pull only or due to cost push only? Can we say like that? Or can we really segregate them into two watertight compartments and say that yes, this inflation is caused because of demand pull factors only, and this inflation is caused because of cost push factors only? No, we can't do that, because one very important characteristic feature of inflation is that cause and effect keep interchanging, and it is very difficult to segregate. Although there are usually any standard textbook of economics will give you some set of causes, some set of effects. But it is very difficult to say that what is cause and what is effect. Say for example, labor demands higher wages. And now if labor demand higher wages, the input cost for the producer goes up if the management finally concedes their demand for high wages. Now, why did labor demand higher wages? There was already inflation existing. That's the reason why they were demanding higher wages. Now, management agrees to their demand of higher wages. So, their wages go up. As a result, input cost goes up. Because input cost goes up, there is inflation. So, because of demand pull factors, there was inflation. So, labor demanded higher wages, then it was agreed, then this led to further inflation, which is cost push. So every inflation may have some element of demand pull and some element of cost push. In fact, they reinforce each other. So that is the reason why it is very difficult to segregate into two categories. Although theoretically speaking, we have two, but it is very difficult to keep them in two watertight compartments and say this particular inflation has been caused because of demand pull factors only, and this particular inflation has been caused because of cost push factors only. So I hope you all understood what is demand pull and what is cost push. That's all for now. Please subscribe to my channel, like it, and keep viewing it. Goodbye for now till we meet for the next lecture.